Multiple fires burnt down homes and caused extensive damage in the West Midlands on what was the hottest day of the year. The fire service told us earlier that this summer's fires are unprecedented. About 100 firefighters had to tackle a huge grass fire in Stourbridge that spread from the golf course to nearby houses. Homes have also been destroyed in Stoke-on-Trent. The Mayor for the West Midlands, the Labour Mayor for the West Midlands, is Richard Parker. Richard, good morning.
Good morning.
It's good to speak to you. We were speaking to the fire service about an hour ago, and they said the situation is a lot better this morning than it was last night.
Yes, that's my understanding too. The underlying issues that were driving the fire are now under control, my understanding is, and now they're dealing with a series of still very important but tactical interventions in some very localised incidents. But we've made, and they've made, I think, really importantly, a lot of progress overnight. And I'd like just to take this opportunity to send, say that my deepest thoughts and concerns are actually with the people that lost their homes and left their homes yesterday evening. But also, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank the fire service and the firefighters for their, the speed of their response and for their bravery in heroic circumstances, particularly yesterday evening.
What provision is being made for those who have lost their homes? We understand about 40 homes have been impacted.
Yes, so there is an evacuation centres was set up by the local authority, that's Dudley Council, in Stourbridge, and that's Stourbridge Town Hall. I will be visiting there in mid-morning to meet some of the people that left their homes yesterday evening, and also to talk to them about the concerns they have, the challenges they face, and of course, more importantly, the support we need to provide them over the weeks and months ahead.
What support can you offer the fire service? One of the considerations, I think, from this summer, Richard, is that our firefighters need to be equipped to deal with these sorts of incidents. If this summer is anything to go by, this is going to be something we're going to have to live with and deal with, notwithstanding, of course, the personal responsibility we have not to have disposable barbecues on dry grass, etc. But I do wonder if the Mayor's office needs to be considering investment on behalf of the fire service in new equipment that can better tackle wildfires.
Well, firstly, I want to, praise the fire service in the region and across the region for the way they prioritise the incident in Stourbridge and the way in which fire service, not just in West Midlands, but in Hereford and Worcester and Staffordshire, supported the incident so that it could be dealt with as quickly and as urgently as possible. And that agility is going to be more important in the future. What we're doing here in the West Midlands is we're undertaking some pilot work, which is really, really important work with the Department for Environment, looking at the risks the West Midlands, this region, the region I lead, faces from climate change, and particularly the warmer and drier summers that we're facing. And we are looking at what that means that in terms of the way we plan for future housing, future investment, and indeed the impact on the transport network. That work is progressing well, but we've already identified the ways in which, some of the key risks that communities face, particularly those communities that are adjacent to open land and grassland. Communities indeed like the one in Stourbridge that was impacted so severely and so terribly yesterday evening. And what we've got then to do is work with the fire service and the other emergency services that look at what can we do by either introducing fire breaks to reduce the risk of fire moving quickly across open ground, what we need to do to reduce some of the risk immediate around communities if they're surrounded by trees and other forms of nature that could be damaging. But we also need to ensure, importantly, that the fire service in those high-risk areas has access to the water they need to put fires out when they arise. But this is we know how serious the incident is, but I think it gives rise now to the urgency, not just the necessity, but the urgency of a response, an organisation, a political or administrative response to the fact, as you quite rightly said, that events like yesterday unless we look at mitigation issues, are going to be, sadly, an increasing currents in this country as a result of climate change.
Indeed. Richard, thanks very much. Thank you for joining us this morning. Appreciate your time. That is the Labour Mayor of the West Midlands, Richard Parker. Indeed, a dramatic and disturbing photos on the front page of the Times this morning of 2 of the 6 homes in Stourbridge which caught fire yesterday. It started as a grass fire at a golf course before ripping through a residential area. Several firefighters were actually taken to hospital as they tried to contain the blaze. We can speak to Richard Stanton, the Assistant Chief Fire Officer at the West Midlands Fire Service. Morning, Richard.
Good morning.
Thanks so much for joining us. What is the situation this morning?
Yeah, so the situation is very much better than it was last night. I think first and foremost, just want to say our thoughts are with all those residents that have been affected by this terrible fire. We've seen that a number of families have had their homes destroyed or very seriously damaged, and we know that will have a very serious impact upon them. Our crews worked extremely hard through very difficult conditions, and they've done as much as they can in order to prevent what was a rapidly developing and significant fire from becoming much, much worse. I can tell you from seeing this morning that the situation is a lot better, but there's still much, much work for us to do here.
Yeah. Can we describe the situation this morning as under control, no longer a threat to property? What sort of phrases can we use?
So we've still got a significant number of resources on scene. We've got around about 14 fire engines here currently, which is less than we had through the night last night. Crews are currently damping down the hotspots that are there. So we're very much confident that it's under control as things are. But we know that as the temperature rises throughout the day, that risk increases significantly as well.
Yeah. Can I ask as well, Richard, how many homes have been destroyed by this fire?
So that's being assessed at present. We know that there are around about 40 homes that have been impacted by it. We believe it's about 20 that have been completely destroyed. But of course, this fire spread over such a large geographical area that we've got to go through that assessment through the day today.
Of course, absolutely. Have you got an understanding as to where it started and how it spread at this point?
So we haven't got that at the moment. We're currently working on that through the priority last night was on preventing the fire from spreading as far as we were able to.
Yeah, that is also fair enough. In terms of the preparedness, I suppose, and this isn't unique to West Midlands Fire Service in this context, fire services across the country have been battling wildfires this summer. Is this unusual for your fire service to have to deal with? Did you feel prepared when fires like this broke out?
So I think we've got excellent firefighters. As I said before, they've worked extremely hard to deal with this incident. Not just our firefighters, but our control staff partners as well, working in extremely challenging conditions. So I think we were as prepared as you can be for this. What I would say is the temperatures that are being experienced this year and the number of incidents that we're having to attend, I would describe as being unprecedented for us. We've had crews deployed across the West Midlands over the last few weeks. We've had them supporting fire and rescue services up and down the country as well. So as you say, this is not something that is just affecting the West Midlands. It's something that's affecting the whole of the UK at the moment. So our key message to people is, whilst we want people to enjoy the warm weather, we are asking everybody to recognise that the risk is higher at the moment, and therefore just to be very, very mindful about what they're doing to try and prevent incidents like this from occurring in the first place.
Yeah, of course. One of the other parts of this is whether fire services are going to need to change and invest, for example, in new equipment, different equipment. Is that something that you feel that you want to look at?
I think that as we learn from these types of incidents, that's something that we will inevitably look at, making sure that we've got the best equipment, the best protective equipment for our firefighters, making sure that we're adequately prepared for it if this is likely to be what we see for future summers, that we're able to respond to it effectively.
Richard, we're very grateful for the update in a busy time for you. Thanks very much. Thanks for your time.
No problem at all. You take care.
Thanks, you too. That's Richard Stanton, who is the Assistant Chief Fire Officer at the West Midlands Fire Service.